Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us today. It is a very momentous sharing. We are very thankful to our networking partners, SDG Center in Kuala Lumpur, as well as I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our my colleagues and partners in UNAIDS, UN, and WHO. Thank you very much, and also the Malaysian AIDS Foundation. Thank you very much for making time today to join us for breaking the ice. This is a very pivotal moment where Alleviate would like to lead a conversation about chemsex and HIV in Malaysia and how a hybrid intervention method could possibly be the solution. Right. So before I begin my presentation, I would like to invite my peer and partner from SCG Center for People who will share with us a few words.
Hi, thanks, Benjamin, and welcome to the SDG Center. We are we're about 1 year and a half young, I guess, as an establishment, and we are a center that promotes sustainability practices, all related to Kuala Lumpur's initiatives and programs. We are located, if you don't know, we're located at the Kuala Lumpur Library behind our iconic Dataran Merdeka. If anybody here online or anybody here, I think this is all pretty much new to everybody. So I'll just give a brief about the center itself. It is a partnership between Urbanist Malaysia and DBKL. And what we do here is we try to fulfill 5 functions of the SDG Center, which is related to being a community center, bringing in stakeholders, bringing in people who have like-minded initiatives and programs that we can support. We are also a data center, so we have a digital twin online, which you can view at www.sdgcenterkl.com. Over there, it's an open platform, so you can actually deposit your initiatives, and you can also see some of the initiatives and ongoing programs and projects by the community as well as DBKL and Urbanist Malaysia. Another function that we highlight is we are also a partnership-based center. So we encourage partnership, not just local, but also international. So we have established partnerships with UN Habitat. We have established partnerships with international bodies, some embassies in Kuala Lumpur itself. And then we are also one of the functions that we also try to do is to promote sustainability efforts, not just by our organizations but also individuals. And beyond that, we have a physical space. What you see here, it's a small, humble space, but we try to make the best of it. We also have the advantage of being in the library, so we can use some of the facilities in the library. And then our physical space highlights all the 17 SDGs in Kuala Lumpur. So we go down each SDG and we try to constantly keep researching about how to improve and how to make the city more sustainable. So events such as this, like breaking the ice, is related to or interlinked to a few SDGs. One of it is SDG 3, another one is SDG 11, and then when you talk about SDG 11, which is sustainable cities and communities, it's something that grows organically as well and touches upon many other SDGs. Um, and SDG 16, to promote peaceful and inclusive societies, which involves kind of like top to bottom policy making. It involves things related to governance, things related to kind of higher end, I guess, policymakers and things like that. So an event such as this will be focusing on SDG 3, good health and well-being, as well as SDG 11. So Kuala Lumpur strives to make the city more livable, more safe, more welcoming and inclusive. And through that, we have or the city, DBKL, has initiated a lot of not just programs but infrastructure as well to promote like inclusive parks, to promote more affordable homes, to connect residents to facilities via very um, I guess affordable and sustainable transportation. You'll see around the city bike lanes. The city has made every Sunday a what do they call it? Car-free day, which has extended to other cities as well in Malaysia. Um, and then you'll see also uh, some targets that we have met, such as access to basic services, like for example, our previous mayor has made Go KL buses free and also carbon free, not just free but also carbon free. And then so this is something that we would like to strive to also highlight and make better um, for residents of Kuala Lumpur, and also uh, to empower the residents as well, such as like 1C1R programs where you can bring in your recyclables and get back basic necessities like milk, oil, and things like that. Um, so this is something that the city also is kind of grappling with sometimes, trying to change mindsets of people, trying to make people be more resilient and understand the needs of each individual. How do we do that? Through education. We go to schools to talk about the SDGs. We talk about create activities for students. And this is not just the center's initiative, but also you find a lot of small organizations as well as very big institutions that have uh, uh, been striving in promoting SDGs. So um, I guess through this breaking the ice initiative and program, we at the SDG Center, I think this is the second um, time we've engaged with LEV8. The first one was a very kind of specific deep dive into SDG 3, into the health and well-being of our residents. We had speakers on dengue. We had speakers talking about hepatitis B, hepatitis C, as well as another important aspect of mental health. Um, because as we know, we have sprung out of the pandemic, but there are a lot of kind of uh, mental roadblocks that we still need to overcome, especially for the young and ongoing students of lifelong learning. Um, so with that, I guess I'll hand it back to Ben to continue on sharing with us, breaking the ice,
Okay,
and I'm also excited to listen.
cool. Thank you very much, Iskandar. It has been our honor, right? And I'm very grateful that um, SDG Center KL has put so much belief in Alleviate and the work that we've developed. And also, Alleviate is committed to championing SDG 3, 11, and 16. Right. So, to no further ado, I know we're running into our time today. I would like to start breaking the ice.
Sure.
So topics that we'll be covering today would be why chemsex as the main target, how Alleviate will fill the gap, beyond 66 the program, the concept, the method and the approach, chilling finds, from the program. We'd like to share some data and descriptive statistics, blowing the whistle, some possible red flags to look out for in chemsex trends in Malaysia and possibly the world. And then alleviate moving forward, alleviate milestones, and beyond 66 testimonial. Beyond 66 would be the chemsex addiction recovery program by Alleviate. Next. Okay, why chemsex as the main target? Deemed as a significant contributor to new HIV cases in Malaysia, right? And we're also seeing a potential epidemic in the MSM community. And MSM, for those in attendance, is short for mental health. Yeah, and there are concerns about a potential epidemic, yeah, and the normalization of risky behaviors. But what we also like to highlight is that it's all connected: chemsex, HIV, and mental health, which I will be elaborating later on. And there will be an urgent need to break the transmission chain, and to improve interventions, which we are here today to share from a community point of view. And last but not least, we aspire to make this a change movement to cap the chemsex influence on the young, right? Because it is actually permeating towards our young, right? And this is where the change has to be made. And the work has to go hand in hand, both on a firefighting scale, where the chemsex epidemic is currently happening and affecting the community, and we need to also tap it before it becomes even a fire, right? So the work more than ever right now, it is essential that we actually target these two hand in hand. right? And currently there's like insufficient support and intervention methods. Okay, how will Alleviate fill the gap? Beyond 66 is a Chemsex addiction recovery program which has started in year 2020. It has projected a promising high success rate of 85% of my cases have completely abstained from chemsex addiction. Alleviate also introduces an integrated model that addresses chemsex, HIV, and mental health altogether because we believe that it is all interconnected. Yeah? As a people-first organization, Alleviate offers integrated community-focused programs because we always believe that putting the people first. And how Alleviate will be filling the gap is also that we plan to train additional peer counselors as a support system, and Alleviate will plan aims to actually bridge the gap between the community and healthcare providers through trust building and credibility because this is where we see that the community has a gap, yeah, and Alleviate has the the gift of the gap, so to speak, where we'll be able to bridge the community at large through public health care and professional care. So the following slides would be about recovery and beyond, Chemsex, the MSM community, and beyond 66. What is beyond 66? The program. Basically, it is abstinence method. It is also peer support based. And there'll be a six-step approach to intervention. Habit and mindset reforming. Baseline, there will be it's a 66-day baseline program and subsequently another 66 days to make it automated. And this would be the first of its kind program focusing on MSF in Malaysia, and that is also specializing in chemsex and meth use addiction. So as I've explained earlier, right? Uh, which is why I'm really excited to have this sharing today. It's because 85% of our cases have fully recovered on this program. And although it's a very humble sample size, right, but it is also showing very promising numbers. And with that, we aspire to to garner the support of our colleagues and peers globally and also locally to help us take this program further. Right. The Beyond 66 inspiration is actually quite exciting. But in year 2020 itself, we were in the midst of a pandemic, right? And this is when I was actually doing a little bit of research, right? And then I came across it takes about 2 months before a behavior becomes automatic. 66 days to be exact, right? And this is actually an actual study done by Miss Philippa Lely in the year 2009, right? And after that, I further okay, okay. So subsequently, I further deduce that chemsex addiction recovery can be, achieved through mindful-based cognitive therapy. Hence, I'm calling it a hybrid program instead, because it's the combination of both mindful-based cognitive behavioral therapy as well as holistic therapies. Yeah, and Beyond 66 encourages recovery by steadily following a six-step approach, which is very rigorously followed. Yeah, and it is aimed to heal the physical, emotional, and the mental health of the addict himself, and going deep down into the root causes, understanding the root causes fixing the root causes, because the substance itself is an enabler. It's just a vehicle, right? But once we are able to treat the root cause, then it would not have a possibility of sprouting itself, right? It's like if you're a plant daddy, yeah, like me, right? So basically, you just like uh, kill the roots, right? Yeah. And Beyond 66 is a peer support driven program. We are very much peer to peer, right? We understand, yeah, and that actually builds trust between the community and ourselves. And with trust, right, it actually opens up doors and the communication channels. Studies have shown that the first point of contact is a peer, right? And trained and sensitized peers build trust, which is very essential, right? And it's all about open conversation. And let's help you. Let's help you help yourself, right? They are not clients, they are not patients, right? And I do not even call them my cases. I call them my friends in recovery. Yeah. The Beyond 66 method is actually a combination of abstinence and peer led, right? And and then at the same time, globally, there is also the harm reduction method, which serves as what we call a liberal option. We do uh, we we do acknowledge that um, harm reduction works for some as well as abstinence. However, those who are on harm reduction as a liberal option, what we could do is actually help them with goal setting. Yeah, set goals like, okay, at which point you would like to stop. Give yourself a targeted goal, 1 month or 2 months. Yeah, and then after that, let's go into the abstinence program, right? Yeah, because this method helps reduce harm, right, for some, right? And then after that, this one for those who like completely want to break away. Yeah, this has worked for Beyond 66 and a lot of our friends. What is the Beyond 66 six-step approach, right? It starts off as disconnecting with the chemsex world, the meth world, the drug world, right? And then they will also go into a detox of a physical detox as well as an emotional detox. Just download all that is being weighing them down. What is the root cause that actually led a person into uh, chemsex activity and also meth use itself? Yeah, and then subsequently habit forming. Right here we have a habit already. Right, like with a lot of my friends in recovery, I would actually ask them, right, oh, long weekend, what's the first thing that comes to mind? To them, it's like, okay, I'll be able to have CF, they call it, right, a transfer. Back then, you know, long weekends is like, oh my god, okay, we are actually facing a long holiday soon, right? Yeah, then it's like, oh, why don't I go for a hiking trip? Why don't I have makan trip with my family and stuff like that? So this whole mindset and habit, we just need to alter it, right? And that takes approximately 66 days to do that. Yeah, and then after that, we will work with them on their mental and emotional health. Moving forward, the mindset changing, helping them see light in recovery, right? And also, one of the homework that I often share with my friends in recovery is what you stand to lose and what you stand to gain, right? Once they feel more motivated, once they feel more um, uh, with a vision of the future, what they can do, life is better without. Yeah, and this is where it will be supported with motivation. How do you do it? Right? Let's help you get there to your better self, the better version of yourself. Yeah. And so hence this six parts, six step approach itself. It is very vigorous, step. First 66 days and subsequent 66 days is to make it autonomous. Right? Chilling finds itself. I would like to share with you some statistics that are actually um, are very excited actually. Yeah. So thus far, LEV8 has started beyond 66 since Q2 of 2020, right? When we first started with patient zero, right? And with some of our partners here, you would know that in 2019, I was working on a program called Take Charge Today, and Take Charge Today was very much an HIV awareness program, digitalizing it, PrEP uptake, right, and that's focusing on the MSM community. Some from which I further uh, came out with the idea that okay, look, everything is connected. HIV and Chemsex that is a rapidly growing issue and it's being normalized in the community, and it's also interrelated to the rise of HIV, new HIV cases, as well as new HIV, mental health cases. We are in Malaysia seeing a steady rise of 20% over the past few years in new HIV cases. Yeah, and what is the cause? Right? I'll leave all of us to think about it. So cases that I've handled under the Beyond 66 program, um, there'll be approximately 30 cases, 21 of whom are active cases, and recovery rate of 85% of them fully stayed and recovered. Ongoing, I would have 6 cases which I'll be handling concurrently. The longest recovery at the moment is still stands at 33 months and counting. Yeah, and thus far I've only needed to refer out 3 cases with severe substance use disorders, and they needed to be on ultrasound, which is a drug replacement therapy. Okay, pre-program, right? At the start of the program, right, a lot of the participants will frequently observe they exhibit low self-esteem, and that is one of the core issues of what leads them to chemsex itself. A reclusive and quiet personality and often experience trauma which could lead to suicidal ideations. The suicidal ideations would appear more so in those who have been using for an extended period of time. Yeah, and this has led to um, a state of psychosis, substance-induced psychosis, which also indirectly led to suicidal ideations. Many also commonly experience feelings of loneliness, being lost, and lack of positive motivation. Sex addiction, is rife and often associated with drug abuse, and risky drug practices such as slamming are commonly observed. Slamming, for those individuals, is actually injecting methamphetamine, injecting drugs. Yeah. And additionally, high libido, frequently sexual encounters, and the use of hookup mobile apps are often used to facilitate activity of sex. You would see that I call them hookup apps. I mean, many people actually use the term dating apps and stuff like that. Can we just change that already? Let's get it real. It is a hookup app. Yeah. And then post program, once the participant was on the program, right, in terms of their career and business motivation, majority of them have gained back a drive, a fresh drive of purpose and in their career and the motivation in life. Many have restarted their business, started a new career, started a new life, so to speak. Yeah, with a different purpose. Majority are more determined and sure about their sobriety because they have since disconnected with the drug use friend circle. uh, and many have also taken steps to improve their work-life routine, learning like leaving a toxic job and also taking up a less stressful one. They have adopted very much of a work-life balance as well, because one of the findings is what leads one to cancer is possibly also stress. One of the reasons. Okay, in terms of post program, leisure wise, they have seem to be improving in terms of their physical health. They're eating well, they're putting on healthy weight, right? They've been encouraged to also take on any form of exercise that actually would excite them again. Yeah, and this one would actually help them pump the endorphins in their system. Yeah, natural happy hormones. And then some examples including cycling, going to the gym, and hiking and etc. Most have a happier and more stable disposition. Yeah, and they would address issues such as family issues and actively seeking a spiritual path. Yeah. And we also found some of them actually found new passion in music as well as taking up new hobbies. And most have also created new support systems and healthy friendship circles. And actually, some of whom, once they hit the first year, they're really excited to share with me that they actually even found another half, right? That's because it's often fixed. They needed time to fix themselves, right? And then once they reach their better self, then they find their better half, right? And that works very well. Sound strong. That after. Okay. So in terms of overall success, I would say beyond 66 program itself has reached 80% of our cases have fully abstained from chemsex and meth use. Yeah, and that has been a very promising and encouraging result. And which is why I've decided that it is time for us to share it out so that we'll be able to garner more support from our local and foreign partners. Yeah. And then um, we also saw 76 of them have recovered, right, and improved with 20% registering splendid improvements. Drug and meth use has substantially reduced, and many of whom forego the habit entirely. They found new motivation. Several are still in progression with in terms of improving their lives. Yeah, and only a handful have either maintained or regressed, which is about that 15%. Yeah. Um, Another one has actually. Yep. This is actually a quick overview of the friends in recovery. Yeah. Um, we've kept it at as of March 2023. After that, there were more cases, more friends who joined in. So there are approximately 21 of them here. 76 of them have improved with 23% with splendid improvement. Pre-readiness, they came in with the readiness of 8, and then post program they registered at 10, so they actually improved by 2. Some was just me, and then there were actually 2 who actually did. Yeah. And in terms of pre-program mental health, 70% of them have improved, with 37% with splendid improvement itself. Yeah. The post mental health, pre and post mental health, we are able to see the improvements here. Nobody has did, some actually remain. Okay. And the breakdown of the friends in recovery, um, in terms of the way they use meth, about 53% has chosen to smoke meth, and 33%, sorry, 14% decides to injecting meth is their choice, and 33% has a choice of both. Um, this is actually quite a worrisome figure as well. Um, about 48% of these friends in recovery have zero converted. due to Chemsex. Seroconverted means from HIV negative to positive due to Chemsex. And 14% were already HIV positive before they participated in Chemsex, and then 38% became HIV negative. Some of whom are of HIV prevention methods like PrEP. Okay. In terms of the numbers from the relapse and recovery, uh, we have the blue one here, 28% relapse, but they recovered. And if you are able to see here, these are users who probably use it on a monthly basis, and we have one user who use it on a daily basis. Yeah, and then relapse and exit was at 14%. Basically, they dropped out of the program halfway. Yeah, and there would be a bi-weekly user as well as the daily user. But what I'd like to bring your attention here is those who are successfully broken free, right? And they would be 6 monthly users, 5 bi-monthly users, and 1 daily user himself. Okay. Um, this is also something that I'd like to share with my colleagues globally. Yeah. In terms of blowing the whistle, this is what we could possibly foresee in terms of some red flags. And if we're actually quite familiar with the slamming community, right? Slamming is actually an upward trend, right? And if you're looking at injecting drugs, it would be deemed as the new wave for an HIV epidemic, right? Yeah, because there will be cases in which this sharing of needles will going backwards to the numbers of the late 90s and the early 2000s, where HIV prevalence is highly contributed due to the injecting of heroin. Yeah, and then after that, the numbers switch to the transmission um, method of sexual transmission. Yeah, and then now with slamming, which is injecting PrEP, this will be a new form altogether where there will be another way of sharing of needles. And slamming is now the new preferred choice in the MSM community for reasons of it actually gives a more intense and faster high when use of methamphetamine in sex activities, right? And it is seen to be normalized in the community when one actually turns on the apps or platforms like Twitter, even uh, chat apps, right? Um, a lot of the users would actually choose to participate in slamming instead. You know? And with the injecting of methamphetamine itself, we're also seeing that we could possibly be redefining period. Period is actually people who inject drugs, right? Back then, there's categories of like how we break into HIV prevalence, right? So we have period, we have MSM, we have transgender, etc. So now there's actually a very blurred line between people who inject drugs and the MSM, right? Because it's MSM who inject drugs. Yeah. So where do we fit them? Because as of year 2021 itself, the MSM community attributed 63% of new HIV cases, and people who inject drugs were 3%. Yeah. Okay, so this is actually blowing the whistle, literally, right? Because we're seeing new meth now in Malaysia, right? New meth has detrimental effects in terms of one's mental health. If you're abreast with the news in the US, you probably heard of fentanyl, right? And currently the latest one is trank, right? All these are deemed to be the zombie drug, right? and like it or not, is here, right? Yeah, slowly but surely. Right? I personally have seen and witnessed and helped a case where it's very zombie-like during their conduct. So what is Numis is actually a combination of P2P, yeah, and it's actually sold to the users as a more intense time. However, what we also need to be aware is like the business of drugs, right? The, the economics of drugs itself, where the suppliers are actually categorizing, coming up with different grades of drugs. Yeah. So if you are, you're not able to afford the more expensive stuff, then you get the stuff that's tainted with things that could actually have severe side effects on your mental health. But for those who can actually afford, then you buy the premium grade. Yeah. And the suppliers will actually end up making from that. So one other area that I like to highlight is we could possibly be seeing a severe drug-induced illnesses, right? We would possibly be seeing a rise in bad oral health. Right? For a lot of our friends who are on meth addiction, what they do have is meth mouth. And meth mouth is actually where it comes receding, and the very bad oral health itself. So we would be seeing an increasing number of that due to the smoking of meth, right? And then we'll also be looking at more people living with HIV defaulting on their AART, which is their HIV treatment. Why? Is because in the event where they are participating in chemsex activities, they say that the ARVs actually interact with the drug itself, so they don't get the same high. So given the choice, they actually chose to have fun rather than take their ARVs. Right? And when one defaults on their ARVs, what will happen is often um, it will probably be built up in terms of tolerance towards the medicine. Yeah, and there's also a chance of them going into what we call second line of the ARVs. Yeah. And many of the chemsex addicts right now, they are coming in at later stages of their mental health state. In terms of they come in with severe psychosis, yeah. Um, in on the street we call it childhood, which is like TikTok already. Yeah. So it could be either substance-induced psychosis or permanent psychosis itself. Next. Okay, this is a very controversial slide. Yeah, it's a very controversial slide, I would say, right? Because statistics in Malaysia on HIV prevalence points towards one commonality. Yeah, and more than 94% of new HIV infections are sexually transmitted as of year 2021. Yeah, and the MSM community contributes more than 90%, more than 94% sexually transmitted. Yeah, and then we're seeing a gradual increase of 20% of new HIV cases annually. Yeah, and 1 in 5 men who have sex with men in Malaysia is HIV positive, and 1 in 2 men who have sex with men in the Klang Valley is currently HIV positive. Right? So the figures are not pointing very positively towards the NSM community. So this is something that this is an area that we really need to put focus on, right? Yes, um, it's a very sticky situation, given that we are in a very conservative landscape. Yeah, like it or not, this is the reality of what's happening. Right? So for our fellow fighters, what I say is let's uh, target this and approach this tactfully, right? Because essentially, right, the people are the ones we need to reach out, right? Next, next. Okay. Alleviate moving forward. I very much like for us to have the Alleviate Center, right? A recovery center where it actually embodies the three R's: recovery, regroup, and response. Recovery, we will be introducing the Beyond 66 program. Beyond 66 is the hybrid Chemsex addiction recovery program that's abstinence-based, and it also serves as a halfway house for our friends in recovery to detox, and also to help them with their mental health. And all these would be either peer-led or with clinical site who is based in the center. In terms of regroup, it is essential that we provide training and workshops so that we can actually train our tier two. We empower our peers. We give them tools and knowledge how they'll be able to extend this program and support to the community itself. Right. Empowerment workshop goes out to the people. We empower them with skill sets so that they are able to improve in terms of their life, in terms of their jobs, right? And then community events, because one of the main contributors of cancer's addiction is the sense of loneliness, a sense of disconnect, right? They want belonging, they seek belonging, right? So it's essential that we actually bring everyone together in healthier community events. We are looking at, there are a lot of able young men and women, right? In fact, it was yesterday. It was really sad because I was watching a YouTube video about a nurse in the United States. She was an amazing nurse when I read the comments, right? But for some reason, she slipped into drugs, right? So there are a lot of amazing, talented, able people, right? But all they possibly want is to feel that they belong, that they are loved, they are understood without judgment, and they would want to just reach out, a place where they feel safe and they can get help. So hopefully, Alleviate Recovery Center will be able to fulfill that for the community. And in terms of response, we hope to also conduct community-based testing as we have been doing. Alleviate has started our weekend HIV STI testing since August of last year, right? It has been very successful because we have been working with three community partners, one in Tamandu, one in PJ, and one in Bandar Medali Cheras. The main thing is to establish different points and then empower members of the community to set up, right? Hence, sustainability. We all work together, right? Because we cannot expect one body to do everything, right? And we also hope to have provide PLHIV support and what's more, PLHIV entrepreneurship, right? And so hence we also hope to empower them knowledge in terms of how to set up a business to become a small business owners. So this is actually Chilbro, yeah, how we all started, right? It started with Chilbro where the first set of campaign, it's a safe campaign where it was more of a threat uptake. Yeah, and then similarly the same message but different visuals in a very tactical ad in the hookup apps. Yeah, so then after that, the call to action is they click and then it would go to the website called Take Charge Today, and within Take Charge Today, I have a microsite, and it serves to educate on PrEP, HIV, safer sex practice, and harm reduction. Then it should not stop there because okay, I know now, and then what's next? Link them to help, right? And within the website itself, we have a clinic finder where they is able to find where they can get PrEP or emergency PPP or even get tested. And in the first chamber itself, right, we also had the honor of having Professor Altis from Yale University to share on Chemsex addiction. Yeah. And then within this, we were promoting Chill Bro, the talk itself, through MSN channels, so it encourages targeted reach. There was a keynote talk, so the expert speaker, who is a professor, an expert in this area, which was sharing details of what chemsex is. And then we also held it in a secret venue because we wanted it to be a safe space that was trust. Yeah. And then ultimately leading to our website to educate and support the community so that they are empowered by knowledge, with knowledge. And then after that, we moved on to Chill Bro 2. 2 years after that, this was somewhere when it was RMCO, that CO thing, right? Yeah. So we were able to have our talks already. So this was actually a set of talks where I was training community health workers and my fellow peers in NGOs in Malaysia. Yeah.
We have to understand that there are issues that go deeper than just the drugs. The drugs serve as a vehicle, right? And if we look at the MSM landscape, right, these two words keep popping up: loneliness and the lacking, the yearning to belong. When you put sex and drugs together, right, in an MSM community, in this kind of environment, it becomes heightened attachment. Or what they do not realize is the long-term repercussions of chemfun, and more importantly, the substance that's used in these activities. Uh, I can control it, right? Or I've heard stuff like, if I can quit cigarettes, I can quit it. I won't get addicted. To talking about harm reduction, right? Um, what is harm reduction? Safer chem use, right? But my question to them is like, how effective is that message? You know, and why are we still seeing the rise of chemsex addicts and also the rise of new HIV infections, right? So is abstinence the way forward? This is something worth thinking about. Yeah, I've seen people whenever little bit, they, as long as they are still touching it, they are reminded of it. Yeah, so you might as well nip it in the bud, right? And go into the root cause. Like, macam help one person free themselves from their addiction, right? That is already a huge win, right? So all we ask for is like, don't give up on me. Yeah, very big obstacle here is fence sitting, right? It's not my problem, right? It's like, hey, really, this person chill, right? Hey, yeah, lah, yeah, lah. You talk about it behind your back. Are you doing anything? Are you doing justice to this friend, right? Are you helping, right? No.
Okay, so here are some education that we're doing, and then on events and stuff, and then we also recently, thanks to the starting with some coverage on giving addicts a second chance. Okay, so we're nearing the end of our presentation, right? So I'd like, for the benefit of some of our new friends, um, Olivier, who are we? Olivier was founded by myself. It is deemed to be, is meant to be a safer space for the community because with the understanding that we are actually in a conservative landscape where we actually need to be able to reach out and connect with the people and build their trust. A place where they can actually get information, get support, and get help. Yeah, and Alleviate thrives to be a resource and community support hub because we're all about knowledge base. If you have the time, I would encourage you to please visit our Facebook. Right, our Facebook is all about education. We also have another platform which is sharing like short stories. Yeah, and we also strive to serve the marginalized communities, the MSN, as well as the youth. Next. these are some of our milestones, right? Our partner, One Condom Providence, has witnessed our journey since Take Charge Today, and we started in 2019 itself. And in November of 2019, I dedicated a program to raise awareness on PrEP, which is an HIV prevention tool, and then Chilbro 1 in December, which you witnessed earlier, and subsequently in year 2020, um, I started the Patient Zero with the Beyond 66 program. And in Q2 of 2020 itself, I also started Youth Empowered. Youth Empowered is actually a youth for youth program where it is the youth who actually create the content for their peers. It's not me telling the young fellas what you should not do this, you should not do that. Right? It is the young people telling their own raga, right? Their teman-teman, you bro, listen to me, right? And this project was the very first collab was with UCSI, and I look forward to collaborating with universities moving forward. Chillbro 2 was initiated in June of 2021, and in 2022 itself, we registered LEV8 Recovery Center. We had to have the physical center itself, and in August of 2022, I started the weekend HIV and STI testing. The inspiration for this is like we do have a lot of people saying that I'm not able to do tests because I'm working and stuff like that. Or some of them would say, oh, I'm working in a boutique, the boutique closes at 8 o'clock. So no excuse here. We have a weekend tester in 3 separate locations in the Klang Valley, and one of which is open from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Yeah. And then in December itself, I introduced U equals U month. You see this cute little character that we created, which is our U equals U mascot, educating the community about undetectable equals untransmittable. When a person living with HIV under effective treatment, the virus is suppressed to an undetectable level where it's no longer transmissible via sex. Yeah. So this character is a cutesy one, I call it, he's inspired by the sunny side up egg, yeah, to lend a more cheerful and optimistic disposition to HIV. So similarly the match. Okay, so and then as of January 2023, we were one of the earliest organizations to help spearhead PrEP GOV 2023. PrEP is currently provided free by the Malaysian Ministry of Health. Yeah, so for LEV8 itself, in the month of January and February, we managed to help about 150 men to go on PrEP. Yeah, we help them sign up. And at the bottom here are some of our activities that Alleviate and Take Charge Today has done over the years. Right? So we've come a long way since 2019, and there'll be more for us to do in the future. Here's a testimonial.
Okay, my journey of using chem and drugs, right, have been 6 years already. And then with these 6 years, right, I start from using chilling alone, and then chilling with friends, and now until the standard of slamming. And I find that all this is because loneliness. I find that if it is able to using this way to connect with friends. However, after these 6 years of journey, I find it is not the ultimate solution. And then I have tried the slamming way, and then the slamming way actually make me feel depressed, and then make me feel anxiety. And then moving on forward doesn't help me to progress further in what I want in my life. So next, I was decided that why don't I try the harm reduction. While using harm reduction, I realized that I still wasn't able to away from the toxic environment that I'm in. And then I in this year January, I actually engaged with Benjamin, my sifu, he from LEV8, and then he actually introduced the idea of totally stop from using. And with this method, right, I engaged him to counsel me for the 6 week program and continue follow up, right. And within this right period, I grow from anxiety and depression to very motivated of what I want to do, and I achieve a lot in the next starting this January. So I feel like it is, if I can do it, you also can do it. And then why don't you give yourself a try also to totally stop from chem and sec. Uh, Even if I can stop from slamming, right, and then you also can.
And here we have another friend, this is a more recent case.
First of all, I have been in this drug addiction predicament since it was forced upon me in October 2016. Ever since December 2020, I've been researching on ways to quit, visiting 3 hospitals, went for rehab, attending support groups, talking to counselors, and seeing psychiatrists. Even now, I am actually on a drug replacement therapy, and so far it's been so good. When I was ready to quit again, 3 months back, it is until I discovered Elevate from a friend and attending the course until today. So that has been, making me even more certain in maintaining my abstinence from drugs, which is also known as CF, or in the Western side, it's been known as Wired. Sometimes people know it as chill as well. Okay, so through this program with Elevate, how it has actually helped me is that the things that I've discovered, the things that I have learned, I receive affirmation, and then there is also the support system that I need to actually put myself in the path towards abstinence. So I have been maintaining my sobriety for coming to 3 months, and I'm actually very proud of having my mentor and the course coordinator, Benjamin, to actually help me through, especially when I have trying times as well. So I do hope that I could still maintain this abstinence and also my road to recovery for a lifetime. And just a little message to my friends out there who's going through the same problem. Don't ever give up. Never give up. When there is a will, there is a way. And also there is a light at the end of the tunnel, shining brighter as the beacon of to guide us to a better place. And also thank you to Ben, and I'm still looking forward to actually complete this program within to reach a year and also a second year of sobriety. Thank you.
What is she stands out for me, is apart from having this chance to work with these friends in recovery and helping them in their new path, right? It's also, I feel immensely proud that they have reached a state in which they own their paths, right? They have put it behind them, they own it, they are brave enough to step up, right? And this is the conviction that they have on the program and their sobriety, right? Not many people do, right? And I'm very proud of them for taking that chance and believing in myself. And we hope that with this, we'll be able to take this program to the next level. we have at the moment myself helped approximately 21 to 30 cases already. Yeah, and what I'd like to ask my friends and my peers globally as well to give abstinence a chance, right? So let's see how we can work together, right, and explore the way of abstinence, the way of beyond 66. Right, so I'd like to open the floor to questions, right?
That actually there's a 20% increase of rent and the contributing demographic the reason why there is an increase of HIV cases in Malaysia. Is it a demographic reason or is it an economic reason? What kind of profiling while you're doing your engagement? Like what kind of profiling is whether you know if there is problem with poverty, there's problem with hunger and things like
There's so many different angles to it, right? Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about the economic reason as well, yes, there are reasons whereby the marginalized community, due to lack of support and resources and being stigmatized, right, they would actually be suppressed to a state in which they find a coping mechanism, right? And then there's another layer in which we are looking at being in this conservative landscape, a suppressed community, closeted, so to speak, right? And they're not able to be freely themselves. I list out a very simple example, you know, um, just some of my Malay friends, they can't just easily walk into a 7-Eleven and say, "Beli kolam satu," right, without being judged, right? Yeah, so it is these stigmatization of the community, right, that actually leads one to possibly practicing safe sex, which is the easier way. And also the lack of education and knowledge, right? For some, it's a very blasé kind of attitude as well towards HIV infections. Right? So when they are not aware that there is such a landscape that they're facing, the probabilities of them getting infected, right, are 1 in 5, 1 in 2 in the time, right? So when they are not aware, they're like, oh, okay, it's not going to happen to me, right? But if they know that this kind of probability, I will be more vigilant, just like how we were during the COVID period, isn't it? Yeah. And then there's also peers, right? The normalizing, and which is what led us to today's sharing breaking the ice. The normalizing of chemsex is becoming so normal, right? And during chemsex activities, unprotected sex is almost a given. Yeah. So there's so many probabilities that lead this this community towards contributing to those numbers. As much as I like to say it's not, right? But the numbers speak for itself, right? And which is why for stakeholders and fighters, we have to be very careful when we put out our messaging. We have to be very tactful in terms of how we approach the community and the issue on hand. You know, it's not about waving around the flags and stuff like that, but rather tactfully reaching out to them, knowing where they are at, making them feel safe to get uh, educated and protected and supported. Yeah. I hope that answers. Well, our good friend here, she's asking, if LEV8 has actually received funding from the Global Fund and other funding funds. Yes. My answer is over the past 4 years, no, right? LEV8 has been a self-initiated and self-funded project. It's entirely out of pocket. One of the reasons is because, to be very frank, we are not registered as with the ROS. We're not registered as an NGO. Yeah. When I first started, this is it. This is LEV8. Me myself and over the years, while working with some of my friends in the company, yeah, and slowly I reeled in friends who believed in it so much. Friends like Tim, Hao-Yan, Josh, and the rest of you know. So it's only now we are building up, able to build up the support, and which is also one of the reasons why today, with this information and these data, I hope that the work will be able to validated by my peers in the UN, WHO, and also possibly garner the attention of the Malaysian AIDS Foundation, right? Because I've been doing this for a good 4 years, right? Without any financial support whatsoever. It's not easy doing this full time, but at the same time, the work needs to be done, right? The people still need to get help. I cannot say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not free to take a call. I'm sorry, I'm not paid for this, right? Yeah, because they they depend on us, right? Yeah, and all the more reason, we need to step up, right? Yes, money would help, right? I would, actually encourage every form of financial support, right? But at the same time, the work will not stop. It has never stopped, since they charged the day, right, up to now. It's been a good 4 years, 4 years ongoing. IAF or IAS, International AIDS Society, right? Which because we in the first the inception years of I needed to put the work to the test, right? It would not help when I go around and say, oh, okay, I've got this, right? I need to make sure that it works, right? And now it is, right? We have the numbers to back it up, right? I'm very grateful for a friend who actually helped put the numbers together. What we'd like to take this to the next level is to make this an official pilot program, a funded program where we'll be able to roll it out. Yeah. And then hopefully IS will be able to back that up as well.
You mentioned that you wanted to set up like a center, right? So based on your engagements and stuff like that, is there a particular area that you are looking into? I understand that for the blood value stuff and stuff like that, I saw of the data that's where most of the cases are being reported. So is there a particular area that you're looking to set up your center?
Thanks for the question. So the question here is like, is there plans, in terms of setup, in terms of the area, in Malaysia per se, right? It is very much in the alleviate master plans to have the recovery center. It's to start with a very strong foundation in the Klang Valley itself first, right, as a hub. So once this model is proven successful, and then we'll be able to have an evidence-based program with a handbook and working systems and stuff like that. I hope that this system would then be able will be replicated north, south, and East Malaysia, especially East Malaysia. Our friends there so kesian on support, right? Yeah. So it's taking the same model, but we need to make sure that it works, right? Yeah. So on a small scale, not exactly small, so right, it is showing promising results. So I'm hoping to the next level. Currently, yes, you know, because actually, quite is through human, uh, humans, humans are partners, right? Yeah. So we do advertise on certain platforms, right? And at the same time, a lot of our friends in recovery, because they have walked the recovery path and they believe in it so much that they actually be that our new advocate, you know, the word of mouth, and they were the ones who people get people, right? Yeah. And one of the reasons for empowering them as well is that once you reach a certain level of abstinence in your recovery, the next is actually to make it a purpose, to help another person, because it's not always just about me, right? And create your own tribe, yeah, be the change maker, yeah. So it's very much a yes. And moving forward, if I do have some kind of funding, I do hope that we'll be able to strategically advertise in certain hookup apps, right? Because that's where they, or rather, may I say, digital platforms, because that applies to like Twitter, you know, yeah, some other platforms like that as well. So, and obviously, there are more in the research plans, right? And if I would love to share the LEV8 Master Plan with yourself, if you'd like to learn more, so that we can actually further discuss on how else we can actually do this further in terms of collaborating. And you'll also notice in a lot of our social channels, I use the hashtag stronger together, right? Let's, we all stand together like this way.
You asked the online audience the same question.
Yeah, so any questions from our online participants? Please feel free to text us. Okay. Yeah, some of them will not be able to attend directly, so they send their apologies. Right. So after this, I'll be sending the slides over to some of you who are interested. Please reach out to me. And there's any more. I really appreciate the support and that you guys actually showed up, right? Last but not least, I'm really thankful for to the SDG Center KL as well as the team for believing in LEV8, giving us this chance. We, our journey started with the deep dive as G3, and now we're here, to have this beautiful space and to share this. Thanks everyone for making time, and I look forward to greater things with all of you. Yeah. So after this, we will have a quick lunch. Lunch will be served upstairs, and we can chat.
Basically, would you like to I would like you to have this close the session, we talk about SDGs 3, 11, and 16.